Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're working on this Athearn Blue Box Caboose. We're going to be repainting it and although I don't show it here, there's some damage to the roof that we will also be repairing in this part. This will be a multi-part video, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future part. First step is going to be to stripping the paint after I'd already previously disassembled it. I'm using 91% isopropyl alcohol. Make sure you're using 91%, not 70%. 70% will not cut through the paint. The 91 will. And I just pour enough in here to submerge the body, and I am just a hair short with this bottle, so let me grab another bottle and top it off a little bit. And with the alcohol in there, I'm just going to put the cover over it and let it soak for about 3 or 4 hours to loosen the paint. And the reason I cover it is just so I and my family don't have to breathe in the fumes from the alcohol. So I'll be back thanks to the magic of editing. We can come back, and as you can see, I already started scrubbing a little bit to see if it was coming off and ready. And this is coming off very easily, so this had never been dull coated. So the Athearn paint comes off real easily with this. So, oops, didn't remove the cupola before I soaked it, so we'll do that. And just using this old soft screw toothbrush, I'm able to pull the paint off. Also want to get the roof walks off if I can. And those are a little damaged as well, so I will probably replace those with wood when we reassemble them. So once we get the paint off, and you want to get as much of it off as possible, but I also know it's hard to get off of some of the nooks and crannies, and that's fine. It'll be covered by primer and paint when we get to that point in the process. But I still want to get as much off as possible, especially since it's coming off so loosely. And also want to get it off of the cupola as well. Once the paint's off, we'll let the parts dry, and then I'll just wash them briefly with soap and water. I'm not going to show that. It's just using Dawn dish soap and some water just to get any impurities in the alcohol off, any residue of the alcohol off. And just make sure we get the paint off all the parts. We can put that away. And you can see the roof is damaged in this corner. Now we're going to patch this with a 040 by 3/8 inch styrene, but to make that work well, it's best to square off the cut and then replace an entire piece. So I'm going to use a razor saw to cut down the edge. And holding it like that didn't work, but when I set it on the side, it makes cutting it easy. And then I can cut across, again laying it on its side to square up the edge, and then do any final trimming with my X-Acto knife. And as you saw, that quick piece just went flying, so you want to make sure you're wearing eye protection when you're doing stuff like this, because you don't want that flying into your eye. And then if you need to, you can use a file or sanding stick to smooth that out. In this case, this turned out to be pretty smooth and worked well. So I've got a piece of styrene strip. As I said, this is 040 by 3/8 inch, 0.312. I cut off a piece that was close to size, and now just going to use a pencil to mark the exact length I need, or much closer length, and then we'll trim it and glue it into place. I'll test fit everything, make sure you got right side up and get the best fit possible. And then I'm just going to use some styrene cement to glue that into place along the edges. Okay, we'll let that cure, and then we're going to reinforce those joints at the bottom using a strip of 0.010 by 1/4 inch styrene that extends under the bottom there, and that will strengthen it, and it'll be hidden from view by the end details and of course with the paint. So we'll let that dry, and then we'll add the reinforcing styrene. Okay, so that dried, and I cut a piece of the 010 styrene strip, and just going to test fit, make sure it's not too long, and then we'll add styrene to the styrene cement to the glue. That'll soften things, and then get it pushed into place. And then to make sure the edges are all down, we'll add a bead of styrene cement along the edges as well. And then I just use the back of my hobby knife to just kind of press things in place and make sure it's all seated well. I want a good strong contact here because that's going to support the roof. And then I'm also going to add another bead of styrene cement along the seams here to help seal those in. If we need to, once this is glued, we can fill in any gaps with like some very thin styrene rod. But that will be in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure you, if you find this useful, please hit the like button. Leave comments or questions below, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.